Yeah, I mean, okay, so at 6:06, we're gonna call the meeting to order. Emily, could you please roll?
Hector Bond.
Present.
Daniel Garcia. Present. Emily Garcia, present. Nora Pineda.
Present.
Jessica Mendoza.
Yes.
And Kevin and Claudia and Rachel, correct?
Right.
You have one.
All right, thank you, guys. Let's go to our business. Any additions? Releases and referrals. All right, so I wanted to add to new business. Item 10B, which would be the third annual Awards of Excellence. And 10C, the committee report to town council. So I need a motion to add those into the agenda.
And what was B, what was C?
So C will be committee report to council. B will be the third annual Awards of Excellence.
Are you making a motion? You know, a second.
I'll make the motion if you want a second. And all in favor?
Aye.
So additionally, guys, I think the principals are here. I propose we move up item 6 to before public comments so they can make their report. I know that Terry was gonna have them. So I need a motion for that as well. I'll make a motion. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Chairs in the back. What are you looking for?
Developers workshop.
Oh, that's in council.
Mario. Roll.
Say again? Yeah, what are we voting on again? Oh, the prisoner report, right? Yes, yes, I apologize.
All right, guys.
Cuban coffee hasn't arrived yet, that's what. Yeah.
You said no.
He is, but we can call.
All right, guys, principals report. Take you, whichever order you guys want to go.
Okay, I'll start. Good evening, everyone. Maria Medina, principal at Miami Lakes Middle School. We have had a successful opening of school. During the month of September, we went ahead and did the progress monitoring with our students. We are now doing the AP1 testing with our students in iReady. We're looking at our data. We're starting to break that down. And then during next week, we will be having data chats with our teachers to start mobilizing and making sure that we have a good game plan for the rest of the school year. Our attendance is ranging anywhere between 94 to 96%. Our enrollment as of today is 968. We're noticing that we have several students that are leaving Miami-Dade County, period. Not the school, but the actual district, heading to Central Florida. Unfortunately, many parents cannot afford Miami-Dade. This month coming up in October, we start Magnet Month. We're going to be doing our recruiting process for our magnet programs. We're going to start with the elementaries. The elementaries are going to be coming to the school. They're going to be visiting our programs, our classrooms. We have about 1,000 students from different elementaries that are going to come and be able to receive tours of the school. This year, we're doing something different to see if we can combine the students and the parents. So we are going to be inviting parents to come and see the school as well at the same time that the kids are doing, so that they can also see the presentation and be part of the tours, etc. We're also doing the PSAT on October the 19th. We're planning to have Spirit Week the week of October 9th through the 13th to make sure that our students come to school, being that that is part of our FTE. We are in the process of celebrating our Spanish heritage. We're going to be having an event on October the 20th, one during the day for the students and then one in the evening for the parents, because the parents always like to see, their children participate in that. Our chess team this year has been invited to go to competition in Orlando, so we're doing fundraising for that. And then our big fundraiser that we did last year, and it was super successful, is our haunted house. on October the 27th. Last year, we made about $6,000 from the haunted house. And what we did was that we went ahead and split all those funds with the clubs and the organizations that came, and that was a nice little jump to their accounts for incentives for their students and their organizations. And that's Miami Lakes Middle.
Yeah.
I'll go next. Miami Lakes K-8 Center. Good evening, everyone. In Elise Career, Miami Lakes K-8 Center. Opening of school has gone very well as well. Very smooth. Our enrollment is actually up from last year. About 60 students more than we had last year. So we have also, we have now allocated a few more teachers that we will be hopefully finding so we can hire. We have completed our FAST PM1 assessment, and we're analyzing our data, getting ready to do some data chats after we finish the iReady AP1 assessment with our teachers, just to see where our students are at. Our interventions did begin the second week of school. We were fortunate enough to be able to find 3 interventionists, which are pushing into the classrooms during DI and also assisting with the tier 2 and tier 3 interventions for the students. That was one of our goals, to make sure that we were able to start really early in the year, especially to work with our low students to be able to move them up. We are also implementing the vocabulary and communications course once again this school year, and they will be taking the PSAT as well. We've actually added an additional elective to our middle school this year. We've added cybersecurity, which the students and the parents are very excited about, and it's going well. Also, thanks to the town, last year we were provided with some funds to be able, we had a situation in the neighborhood, so we were allocated some funds to be able to provide security to some of our most vulnerable areas in the school. And we were able to put a buzzard system at our main entrance where the glass doors are. So now that's always secured. Those doors are always locked and the security buzzes them in. Then we also had an area where we call the breezeway, which was, where our cafeterias are. Those doors were always open as well. So we were also able to add security there. The teachers and staff have, their access code, and then any students or visitors, they have to be buzzed in because it has a camera there that the security monitor has access to. So now those 2 areas that really were a concern to me, because anyone can really easily have gotten in there. Those are secured already. They finalized everything actually last week. Our school once again achieved the STEAM Gold designation and also Everglades Foundation Gold designation. Let's see. We also became a Title I school this school year. So that has actually helped us a lot. With the technology, we've been able to purchase some new laptops, which we're waiting for to be able to, for our students to have the technology that they need in the classroom. And we have a myriad of activities going on now. October is a very busy month. We have a trunk or treat, which we started last year and it was very successful. So that's through our PTSA and the students are looking forward. We have also Spirit Week coming up now in October for United Way as well. So just very, very busy. A lot of fun activities for the students. All for us.
Thank you.
I can go next. So good afternoon, everyone. Yes, Fernandez, Principal, Miami Lakes Educational Center. I want to begin first and foremost by thanking the EAB, in particular, those of you who came out that rainy summer night to share your opinion on the renaming of Miami Lakes Educational Center. It is the only high school that that bears the name Miami Lakes. So for us, is a big deal, and we want to make sure that you guys understand that we appreciate your support with that initiative. Okay. So there's a bunch of things going on both at the high school and the tech college. The high school will be hosting a college night / senior night on October 4th. We're gonna have about 15 colleges and universities that are going to come out, meet with our seniors, have like a little mini college fair. And then we'll get the seniors all in the auditorium and we'll go over senior activities and so forth. I was just sharing with the other principals. I had a very interesting visit yesterday from the Southern Regional Lead Specialist from the state of Florida's Office of Safe Schools. And it was a learning process for me. I had never gone through that type of audit before. And they came in and they asked to see everything regarding student safety. SRP trainings, rosters, sign-in sheets, 4 to 5 Florida posters. They did a walkthrough of the entire building. They made sure that students had their IDs on, to make sure that the doors were locked. They made sure that the safe zones in the classrooms. I'm happy to report no deficiencies were found at our school. We're getting a report soon that I'll share with the region, but it was like a big sigh of relief that every teacher because they conduct like side interviews with teachers, where's your red folder and what do you do in this situation? Everyone was able to answer every question correctly. It's a big sigh of relief for us, that the trainings and the videos and the conversations that we have with teachers that it sinks in, and God forbid, in the event of an emergency, at least everyone is aware of what they're supposed to do, right? But that was pretty interesting. We have a National Merit Scholar finalist at our school this year. We haven't had one of those in a while. We also have 9 students that are 2023 College Board nationally recognized as well. Currently working on MSA certification and MSA merit awards. Those applications have already started. And we also got the email from Kristen Carranza regarding STEM again, and we'll pursue our 7th year as a STEM Gold school as well this year. We were able to honor our security staff on October 21st. That week was National Security Monitor Week, and we brought them in and we made a big deal about it. We're going to do the same thing with custodians on October 2nd, because that's their week. And a homecoming is happening next week. PM1 has been completed. All the EOC topic assessments at this point have been completed. So we intend on bringing teachers in and having data chats next week. And coincidentally, the North region will be having data chats with schools as well out of Miami Lakes. So we're excited about that. Last but certainly not least, State Representative Tom Fabricio, who is a resident of Miami Lakes, will be presenting an American flag that was flown over the state capitol to our students on Tuesday, October 10th, and that flag will be kept in our courtroom. We have a mock trial courtroom that we use at our school, and that's where the flag will reside. So cool stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Lilibet Sosa, I'm representing Mr. Ramirez. He couldn't be here today for a family emergency. I'm an assistant principal at Hialeah, Miami Lakes Senior High School. So at HML, we've been focusing a lot in college this year. We have actually just opened a Blue and Orange Success Studies Academy, also called BOSS, which is going to be for students to obtain their associate's degree along with their high school diplomas. So we're very excited. We have extended the offerings of dual enrollments with both NBC and FIU in order to be able to help students through that. We've had a successful senior parent night, junior parent night, open house, all of which had really great turnouts for attendance. Upcoming are days of parent nights and advanced academics as well, with our Theater Pattern Expo, which is tentatively scheduled for October 24th, 2023. Okay. So we have a college fair coming up with more than 50 colleges and universities coming to our school. That's an internal college fair that our CAP advisor is planning. College Board's Big Future actually awarded one of our students $40,000 last week, Friday, which was a really rewarding event. It was during a fall dance, and we were able to stop the dance, surprise a student who had no idea what was happening, and of course also surprise the parents who knew that there was a scholarship, but not the amount. So that was really rewarding to see. We've also had students, like Mr. Fernandez said, named by College Board on the National Hispanic Recognition and the National African American Recognition, a total of 8 of our students, which is great because they get bright futures for free, regardless of their GPA and scores. We also have students invited to the Equity Lab National Honor Society, which means that they were the top high school scholars in the nation, attending or taking classes with Ivy League schools. which is also very cool. Our band director just got a grant from the Save the Music Foundation, which means that we get to open a music technology class, a music production class, and work with several big names in the industry as well. So we're excited for that. We also have 4 students that are going tomorrow to FIU to meet the Vice President Kamala Harris. And the kids are incredibly excited for that. And also talking about FIU, we have partnered with them in something that's pretty different. And that is, we're gonna have 11 students from Hamm, Germany that are potentially coming to FIU for college. They're gonna come and spend a day with HML students. One of them will be paired with each, and it's a pretty cool cultural experience for them to see the life in an American high school. Oh, boy. So in regards to community service, our students have had 2 really major events, one of them at Epworth Village Retirement Community, and another one at Always at Your Side Adults Daycare, where they dance and play with senior citizens. That's one of the projects that we hope to continue. We're also partnering with North Twin Lakes Elementary, like we did last year, to help their Halloween night, where our drama club is the students that are the actors for the haunted house. And then we also do the candy drive for their trunk or treat and everything else. And also we partner with Giving Gators this month to get a toiletry drive. And of course, our students are already working on the pumpkin patch. Our HML kiddos are ready and registered for that first day of unloading all those pumpkins, and I have signed up for the majority of the shifts already.
Nice.
I'm Jim Jackenzuk. I'm representing Bob Graham Education Center. Our principal is, I guess, to be transparent, hopefully enjoying her birthday, which is. Don't tell her I said that. It's on a business trip. It's on a business. We also survived the PM1 testing and the STAR testing with our teachers. We had a very smooth beginning of the school. We had an excellent, excuse my Spanish, we had a pastelitos for abuelitos, which was actually a two-day event. We had so many of our grandparents visit. We had our elementary students do it on Thursday, then our middle school students visited on Friday. And we had so many people out there. It's the wonderful thing. And of course, they all wanted to walk their children back to the classes, and that goes back to school safety. And that was a lot of fun. Our attendance is up. Our student population is up. Our ESOL population is way up. We've been allocated an extra teacher for our ESOL students, which is wonderful. In October, we are partnering with our Spanish, our junior and our elementary honor society are all partnering with Neighbors for Neighbors, and we're going to be collecting gently and used child-sized costumes to help with the for children in need who might need a costume for Thanksgiving or for Halloween. Okay, our United Way also begins this month is United Way month. Our Spare Week is coming up in the middle of October. We're already planning all our activities for that. I did want to take a little special time to one of our Bobcats, Jeremy Matthews, is he lost his sight to childhood cancer. And last year he raised $50,000 pretty much on his own. It didn't come through the school, didn't make a lot of big deal about it. Last week he spent the weekend in Washington, DC at Cure Fest. And according to his mom, they were at caucuses on Thursday. On Friday, he actually did some lobbying with some of the congressmen there in Washington. On Saturday, he actually did a speech in one of the ballrooms there, was one of the speakers. And it's just an amazing thing that one of our Bobcats can just goes out of his way to do that. Something that was kind of taken from him in an early life, and he just found a way to make something positive out of that. We acknowledged him on the morning announcements and put him on, and a lot of the kids kind of took it to heart and used it as kind of an inspirational thing. So I just wanted to make sure that he got acknowledged for that.
Thank you so much. I'm assuming nobody has anything for Mr. Stein?
No, we haven't.
I'll make sure I'll let him know.
Then just give some region updates. One, I'm Leonard Torres, in case you don't know, from the North Region Office, Administrative Director. I oversee capital maintenance projects for the region. There's a major GOB project happening at Miami Lakes Middle School. Today we had a meeting and hopefully we have the AC situation in a better place than it was yesterday. So we're working on that. I was gonna mention that at Miami Lakes K-8, they did get some funds to provide for an electric entry point, and that's really working out well. At HML, the planetarium is coming back to life, and I think they've already done the 100% matrix meetings, and they're very excited about the possibilities. And when that comes back to life, having all the schools in Miami Lakes take advantage of it and you know, see the wonderful things that the planetarium can do. I know that if you have any other questions, we're here to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Any questions, guys? I do, but I know you do.
Yes, Miami Lakes Middle, how did your no phone policy go?
It's going well.
So this is be your second year, right?
This is our second year.
And it's the kids have adapted to it well, it's perfect, I like that.
No stoppers. When they come in, they have to have their cell phone inside of their building.
We want to let Mr. Anthony go, I guess, before we put questions.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Elizabeth.
None of them lucky or was driving and trying to do, I'm assuming we're sharing things about our school.
Sure.
That's what happened.
I just read a study on no cell phones in school. Unbelievable.
He said it made a huge difference there, because you had to talk to each other in the cafeteria.
Yes. I
PE
mean, I
was-
just read that half an hour before coming here.
To me, I think I would love for it to apply to every school, but. You know.
I think they're looking at that, though. I think the statute that they're trying to pass regarding cell phones and not allowing them.
Extra is there
We'll see.
when I get after them on the cell phone.
Rather than false work where one in your school.
They find a way.
They find a way.
They find a way. They have
VPNs
VPNs.
All right.
Oh. So some of the great things at Barbara Goldman. We did have a student who scored a perfect score on the AP research exam last year. She's a current senior. She's one of 347 students in the world who was recognized by College Board. So we gave her a nice certificate and a visit to Dr. Sanchez's famous fridge. We have two new clubs. Last year, we talked about the Salsa Club. This year, they have the Animal Rescue Club, which they had over 100 kids interested in that. And believe it or not, the Lego Club, they had about 300 kids signed up for it when we did our club rush. We did, this past Monday was a teacher planning day. So our department head for PE, Ms. Kenta, she trained about 20 teachers in CPR training. She did that last year. She continued it this year. At the beginning of the year, she trained her students in 10th grade who have PE, can't only CPR. So expose them to the basics of it. We do have a college tour for juniors coming up in October. They're going to come visit 5 Florida schools. We have 2 National Merit Scholar finalists. And our yearbook was recognized as the top 1% of yearbooks by Herc Jones. They were also awarded the All Florida Award by FSPA. And we just finished, which I'm sure every school did too, the Start With Hello campaign last week. So a lot of great activities with students, getting to know about the school. Our mental health club was doing a lot of activities with them and just giving them the exposure to the many services we have at the school.
So much, sir. Make sure you save some of that, those good from that fridge.
Yeah.
When you save all that. Any questions back to administration?
Yes, are the high schools still providing the IXL and the no red ink for the freshmen? You know,
We purchased it. We purchased the no red ink. And our teacher seems to like it.
Right.
You know, it's an investment, you know, for us, I think we paid for it out of ESAC, if I'm not mistaken.
And the math version?
The IXL, we purchased it as well because the district used to purchase that and they haven't done that this year.
So,
Definitely, you guys mentioned that we're getting it back, right?
yes, they're getting it back.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They're getting it back. I
I
don't know.
think the PTSA has
No,
purchased it and now.
I don't know if it's getting to the high school, but whoever requested, because the district did get a lot of requests from schools to purchase it because they've changed their policy on what programs are allowable in the school. So they're all kind of being centralized, but there was such an outpouring for IXL that I believe the district went ahead and did the purchasing. I don't know about the reading.
We also did the running through ESAP on the teacher like.
And the IXL as well? Or the IXL is
Yeah,
gonna
they're
cover?
gonna work.
Perfect.
Also by Turnitin, which is a software that will detect plagiarism.
Yeah,
One of the things,
Where's the
ChatGPT.
traffic?
one of the things that I'm
I know
sure-
that was an extra cost this year to all the schools, because the teachers really wanted that.
Right.
And it even doesn't give you 100%, you know, it'll tell you just the percentage, whether it's AI or not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which works.
All right, so I do have a couple of questions, and I'm gonna go back to something you brought up,
Yep.
Mr. Fernandez. The name change
Mhm.
issue. Do we know where we're at? with
I
that?
haven't received any notification or any
No second
correspondence
meeting.
regarding nothing. Nothing.
For that, we have nothing.
I think the region would know better than I would.
Yeah, so we submitted all the minutes from the meeting. We submitted all everything that we received to the region. A lot of letters came directed to me, as a matter of fact. And we submitted that to school operations, school leadership and performance. And that's the last I've heard. I did reach out, actually, beginning of this week, Monday, to the administrative director who oversees that process to find out what other steps need to be taken on our end, but I haven't heard back from them.
I'm assuming whatever happens is gonna be.
Yeah, it has to be published. Yeah, so there's a school board policy 7520, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That speaks to the process of renaming of a building, of a educational facility. And within that process, it does speak to if the initial meeting fosters more conversation and for a committee to be selected to look into the name change, then formal meetings will have to be announced.
So the next thing goes over to our heated debate that's funded, which was the vocabulary class and the measurement, right? I know we've been in contact and
Yeah.
we've talked about it. You were gonna look into the fact.
Yes, so one of the reporting categories in the fast testing is reading across genres and vocabulary. So there is a reporting category and it does provide a specific score for the students, a level, and then we can compare what they did on the PM1, which they just took. And then we will compare it at the end of the year to the PM3 for that specific.
For that,
Yeah,
yes,
just
because
people
he was going over the
Yeah.
general number.
Right.
And we had a heated debate back and forth on how that general number, you can't use it for the vocabulary class.
Right.
So I wanted something more specific,
Yeah.
given a measure, so.
We'll still
Yeah,
do,
definitely.
we'll still, protect the identity of the students.
Right,
Right,
exactly.
that information.
See, like if the scores improve,
Right.
right?
Okay.
All right, so we're done with that part. So the rest is basically announcements. I know the checks went out to the school. I think intergovernmental affairs picked up the checks, right, for the supplement. I don't know if it said your accounts, I'm talking about the aides in the middle school. But hopefully, if it hasn't, we were told it will be there shortly, right?
Yeah, they were picked up. I think, last week.
Gotcha. There's a student subcommittee meeting next week, October 3rd, guys. I don't know if anything actually went out to the principal.
Not yet, we're discussing here.
Okay. So, as you know, we have a student rep, obviously it's one of your students, Margaret Acosta. And a few months ago, he requested to create like a subcommittee, just to have a meeting with student leaders at every school. All he's asking is if the school encourage 2 or 3 kids from your schools. I'm assuming the high school is easy, but you have your student government and stuff like that. I don't know how the K-8s would do it, and Miami Lakes, we don't really have student government. Or he wants to know 2 or 3 student leaders that he could meet with, he just wants to create that rapport with them, because that's his job, really, in the committee, to report back to the school from a student point of view.
This
So, October 3rd, I believe it is, right?
Yes,
Sure.
Tuesday, October 3rd, at 4:30.
And it'll be here,
and we're
At the
here.
town.
At the
In
time.
council, but here.
it'll be couple chambers, right?
Oh.
They're having pizza, right?
Yeah, we'll provide them.
You can identify some kids with their parents, you know, you have to reach out to parents and make sure that they have transportation
Right.
and
No, because it's after school hours, so it's not really, right?
4:30, Tuesday, the second,
And finally,
The
from,
third.
the third, I'm sorry, was it, no,
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
there.
the third.
from my end, and I guess it's more through intergovernmental, right, because we went through them. We've been trying to do the digital flyer, I know we've been in contact with them.
Alright.
And then she told me, was it Ms. Rodriguez? Aliette Rodriguez? Yeah, so she mentioned to me that whatever we said was fine, that she was gonna reach out to you guys, gather the data so they can provide it to the town. So we're trying to just create a digital flyer, in which your schools will go on the town website, right? That's what we're gonna try to do.
Right.
So any new families that move into the town would have access to CO. Bob Graham offers this, Miami Lakes State offers this, HMO, you know, like that. So as soon as we could get it, that would be great.
You wanna set a deadline today to get them to you, or they can send them to me?
Sure.
Tomorrow.
How long do you think it would take?
Heard it. You guys can hurt him. No, but by when do you think I'll?
We meet
Well,
again,
that's on,
yeah.
we don't have a deadline, that's on you guys.
Okay,
Right, because it's for next.
I mean, if we could do it before our next meeting, it would be great, if we could have it.
yeah, so you guys can get me, you want still pictures, right? And then you guys create the collage and.
Pictures, and I believe it's also like
Information like what the school offers.
Okay.
So I think you guys
And
have
we'll
what
put
we're.
it together, right?
Synapse and.
Things you wanna
We
highlight.
have like a one pager that we use when we go to magnet fairs.
Right.
That's what I'm.
Yeah,
That's gotta be perfect, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
I
most
have
of you
that.
should probably have that anyway, that information, just so that we can compile.
Maybe some updated pictures, maybe just if the flyer is not updated from the picture, maybe just some updated pictures now within the branding and things like that.
So if we can get it to me by the 4th. Guys, and I'll get it to you by Friday.
And actually, I want to ask one last question. And it has nothing to do, and it's just maybe like a favorite type of thing. So we have a kid, a student who, we had like a contest, right? Which was to update our student, our town
Our luck, Tom Lowe.
logo, right? And we wanted to post it in town hall, and actually, the kid who submitted was a kid who was on the spectrum. And he did a great job, and I think the mom was an HMO, right?
Yes, you does.
So we're trying to find a way to enlarge it, right? Instead of.
We're trying to get it enlarged to, it's the logo instead of the cow, it's the manatee. So we're trying to get it at the size of the, in town hall, that side, so we could put it over it for, I guess,
I don't know if we're gonna put it over it. I know we're gonna, I don't think we can. put
I
it over.
believe the conversation here was if there was a digital one that won, which did. It was gonna be used digitally. We weren't gonna spend any money to physically.
Right, but if we could find a school to
Oh,
to
okay.
print it, you know, that, and that's what I'm saying, and I guess if we go to the secondary schools, I don't
How
know.
how big a poster do you need?
It doesn't have to be that, it
I
doesn't have to be huge, I
I
don't think.
think, I don't
Why don't you
see,
just make it
like
the
that
size
size,
like
you see like that back there, the
That
Miami
one
Lakes,
back there?
yeah, yeah.
But
Anyway.
the
anybody
deal
has
is-
something.
it's being talked
That's
about,
we talked
why-
about, yeah.
Yeah,
The Miami Lakes Education Center has something to do it. You have a email, or do you
Do I
have to
send it?
go through intergovernmental?
Or can he
It's
make
a,
them
no, it's a
enlarge?
picture that a kid drew.
It's an
Yeah,
enlargement.
Yeah, it's not very cute.
okay, so, if you don't have it, you have a email?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, guys, any other questions to the principals, any?
I have an announcement while I have you guys here, and I'll go through Mr. Torres to get you the detailed information, but just a reminder, I know most of you know, we do have our Veterans Day Parade coming up. It's Sunday, November 5th. So I just encourage you, I guess, especially during the clubs. One of you mentioned something about a dance club and all that, that would be great to do a parade. Our registration form is live. Once I have a flyer ready, I'll share it with you, and I guess if you can help us distribute it throughout the school, that would be great.
that will go, gonna go on first, and then we'll.
Okay.
I'll make sure it goes out.
No problem.
But I'm just
The sooner the better.
giving you guys a heads.
Okay. Thank you.
So
One
another question,
one more question, how is traffic, has it gotten better, or worse? Be honest.
Mr. Ensign, would you like to-
Depends where.
All of them, all of them.
My,
It went up by by 2:40, it's clear. So I think 20 minutes for our volume, I think it's good.
Except during those 20 minutes. it's not good.
No, it's gotten better. They've gotten better. The flow in and out has gotten better.
Yeah. But he knows I love to pick on it.
I know Bob Graham is always an issue as well.
I'm not.
As long as the parents bring their patients, we're fine. It's the newbies that mess us up. And the people that don't know the routine are the ones that, want to get in early, then they want to park but once by maybe Christmas, we'll get it down. It's part of like a Bob Graham. We're gonna do.
I had a meeting with some residents of Royal Oaks today, actually. Well, again, we talked about the patients and the time frame. I mean, if you could tell if the parents wouldn't get there early, if they would just get there on time, they would wait 10 minutes rather than getting there early and waiting 50 minutes and parking in the street and all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, their dismissal procedures are excellent for the volume and the landlocked that they are
Right,
and the one streets.
Yeah.
They do a great job. The problem is that there are parents who want to get there 30, 40, 50 minutes early and park in the neighborhood. And that is the main issue, I think, with the Royal Oak residents. But if they didn't park in the neighborhood and they left their house at 3:05, they would probably drive up and be out of there by
Exactly.
3:15. But
We have no margin for error.
right.
If once a car broke down I think last week, and it's like something happens on the Palmetto. Just backs everything.
But we'll continue to work with the residents. We'll also continue to work with the school and identify opportunities to help alleviate, but it's never gonna be 100% perfect. And they just, it sounds, I don't know how it sounds like. They got to understand.
As long as the flow keeps going, I think the residents are great. But I know that the standing of the cars has always been an issue.
Yeah.
And that's what we've always asked the police officer. Is it about educating them? Is it about going to them and saying, hey, if next time I see you, I have to give you a ticket? Because we've been asked the police if enforcement is part of the job that's gonna help it. So I know that the whole town is trying to figure that out. But I think that if in early, as soon as school starts, the best thing is to educate these parents because it's the key, like you said, hey, don't come early, don't sit around, you might get a ticket. That's the key is everything. I know that at Goldman, we had a huge issue just recently that they were blocking every single street. You couldn't even get an ambulance if you had to. I know Chen fixed that quick. He said, hey, you're gonna get a ticket.
Yeah, they know they're gonna have to take it. I don't know.
Well, they put up those really pretty
The yellow.
yellow tape up and down.
Correct, yeah, that. I don't
I
think
don't
that
see that
deters
many cars
anybody.
parked on the, I don't see that many cars parked on the side anymore. Like where they don't park in the swale, right?
Like I said, it's to people who don't know the routine
Yeah.
is what gets.
Yeah, I don't see it. The buses are very good now, though, right?
They're better.
It's smooth. I remember from last year and the years before, it was,
Yeah, I think.
they're moving quicker.
Yeah.
And they're there early and they're. Because Mr. J does bus and he's out there from beginning to end.
4:30 waiting for it.
Yeah.
So no other questions, guys? All right, so thank you very much for coming out again.
Everybody.
It's your chance to run.
Enjoy the traffic home.
Well, hopefully by now the traffic will die down.
Never.
You never know.
None of the public.
Yeah.
No, public.
It's like 9 o'clock and the traffic way. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you gonna stay with them? Okay.
Oh, nothing, oh my God. 2 hours. Look at the 360. I left at 7:30. I didn't get to my house at 9:30 in the morning. It's like 2 hours.
All right, guys, so we're going back to the regular order of the agenda, so we are at public comment. I know. Lou.
My God,
I'm
I'm sorry. I know you're-
You know,
I don't- comfortable, guys, I'm sorry.
So it's up to you guys.
Whatever you guys.
No, it's up to you. If you feel more comfortable, you guys can have the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys want to come to
Go
the
ahead.
table? It's fine.
I don't like to do my back stuff.
So I know you guys were here quite early. I apologize for that. Usually when the principals come, we let them go first because I know the day is very long. You guys want to start and?
We can, so
I run an educational center that's here in Miami Lakes. So the best way to describe it is like a pandemic pod. It became really popular to homeschool during the pandemic, and then a lot of population kind of kept along with that. But what I found with homeschool is obviously there's a lot of gaps that you want to be able to fill. And there's such a need for that in the town of Miami Lakes. So we opened up a 501c3 to help this cause. And basically what it is a center where they're basically homeschooling, not at home. So they're able to get the social aspect. We still have the career days, the grandparents' days. We do the dances, we do all of those things. So we have those who come 5 days a week, and then we also open it up to the community, which in the homeschool world is called co-op. And they come in and they do life skills, electives. So we run about 19 different electives and stuff like that. So, but because we are out of system, we don't really get other funding other than grants and then tuition that the homeschoolers pay to be there. So I just kind of wanted to represent the homeschool community as a whole. We've seen so much success in just our short time that we've been open. One of our graduates last year is now pursuing a nursing program in UM. And then we also have kids who are on the spectrum who are struggling with anxiety, barely verbal, and they're here doing presentations on stage this year. We have a 12-to-1 ratio, so it's a lot smaller class sizes, and we meet them where they're at. So if there's any gaps that need to be filled, that maybe they're not a good fit in public school or in a private school, they're able to fill those gaps, meet them where they're at, and make sure if there's anything that happened during the pandemic as well, which we're seeing the effects of that now, we're able to get them where they need to go. So whether we're a pathway to another school, or if we're there to fill any gap, we're there. And then there's those who take it beyond and they graduate early. We do dual enrollment, all the things that you would do at a regular school, but there's power in numbers, and in homeschool, you're deserted and alone. So it's a way that I'm able to give community to these kids, you know, and give them that sense of family and place that they can call home. So we have our own mascot, all of the things, you know.
That's awesome. So is there anything you're asking of the EAB, or you just?
No, I just wanted to kind of present that we're here, you know, we're serving the town of Miami Lakes. There's so much need for it. So I'm here to get involved, be a voice for them, you know, anything that you guys need on my end, I'm happy to help and be a part of.
So what is that you call?
It's called
Your-
Mindset Connect,
Mindset.
and we run as a 501c3.
And they pay tuition for?
They pay tuition to come in and do, instead of the parents having to do the schooling, we have certified teachers that will do the schooling for them.
So you
it's like-
hire certified teachers? Okay, how many teachers do you have?
We have 6 right now. And we have a crazy waiting list because we're not funded again from other
Mhm.
things. So we started off very, very small. We quadrupled in size, and our waiting list has 150 kids on it right now.
And how many do you have enrolled?
So we have right now what we're able to is about 50,
Okay,
you know, that we can.
right,
And then there's a lot of families who can't afford it. So I would love to be able to get scholarships
right.
for these kids to be able to service them.
Mhm,
A lot goes a long way since we're so small.
mhm.
But it's a big deficit that is.
So the children are homeschooled,
Mhm.
but then they come to your mindset.
Right.
For,
They come for
electives
schooling and
or-
electives. So they can do core classes, they can do everything, or they can just do electives. So it's parent choice.
so the
might
parent
have-
is not homeschooling them then?
No, they're basically paying a tutor to homeschool them is the basic way. So for example, when everybody who homeschools at one point or another,
Mhm.
as a parent, you have a deficit,
Mhm.
whether it's the higher level
Right,
math,
right, once they get.
you know, so then
Mhm.
we facilitate that need. We fill those gaps. Or let's say it's getting expensive to live, you know, in Miami-Dade. There's a lot of people who had to go back to work.
Right, okay.
So they couldn't keep their kids at home, but they didn't want to put them back into the system for whatever reason.
Right.
Whether it's religious purposes, a special need, whatever, you know, and we facilitate that need for them.
So then you're in sense, like a private school?
In a sense, but we're
private,
not
right.
considered, yeah.
Okay, oh, your curriculum,
Yes.
what is your curriculum?
It's
What do you-
parent
what do you
led,
follow?
so every single person has a customized curriculum. So to
Oh,
give you
okay.
an example, let's say that there's a child who's dyslexic, we can get their entire curriculum printed in dyslexic font.
Mhm.
So it's not a one size fits all, everybody's not cookie
And how are
cutter.
they taught then? It's individualized,
Mhm,
and you only have the 6 teachers.
mhm.
How are the children taught? Like,
It's a
are they-
10-to-1 ratio. So basically, nobody's learning a new concept at the exact same time. The teacher lesson plans exactly like they would in a school, so that they're able to give individual one-on-one help to every single child. So they still learn every single new
So they
concept
give
by
their
teacher.
lesson
Exactly.
and then they go into.
Right,
the
because we
average
don't
one.
want to hold their hands to the point that that's also a deficit,
Right,
which I've
right.
seen with homeschool. If you're just there helping them
Right,
do
right,
everything,
right.
there's no independence. So we do give them, just to give you a visual, imagine like a U shape.
Right.
Everybody has their checklist on what they need to get done in a day.
So
When
sort of
they're
like a Montessori?
No,
No, because
definitely
it,
not. Yeah,
right, because they have a checklist.
right.
They go kind of independently through their assignments and their tasks.
The
But
thing
that
with
one
us
teacher
that's
is what?
different is that we have to be at state standard. So because I taught in public and private, it's very important to me that wherever they go, when they go, they haven't like missed any steps.
No,
You
but
know,
Montessori is also in public school, so they do have to follow the state
But they
standards
do a
too.
lot more of, which we do hands-on things as well, but they
Mhm.
don't, they're a lot looser with their standards.
Right, yes, like the children have their, and they go off and.
Right, so
Okay.
we are more strict, we challenge them, we make sure that they get to where they're going, not saying Montessori doesn't,
Mhm.
but it is a little bit different.
Okay.
That we administer it.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's nice. Where are you located?
We're located on the same street as the Roberto Alonso. So we're right,
Okay.
You know, the church, New Dawn, that's right in front of, Roberto Alonso?
it's right there on that street.
Right.
There's a church next door.
Yeah, next door.
Oh, you mean over here? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So you have 170th, right? So then you guys are on.
Next to the school.
Okay.
It's,
Okay.
it's right
We're
next,
neighbors.
Matter Lakes uses the parking front.
Correct, these are the senior park now.
Oh,
And
okay.
we have a side section parking
So
for.
you have, okay,
Mhm.
so you're in that stretch of land that the. New
Not
Dawn
building.
Church is? No,
Yeah,
yeah,
the church.
in that area, oh, okay, okay.
So the
yeah,
church,
yeah.
if you use the church building.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So do me a favor though, because I know you're gonna need that. Can I get your names? just for
Of
the
course,
record,
of
guys?
course. It's Liani Antello, Liani.
I got yours.
Oh, you got it. Okay, you got it already.
Derek
Derek.
and Tom.
Same
I'm
last
listening.
name, yeah.
And then Derek, DER.
DEREK.
Mhm.
Perfect, thank you.
Same last name, right?
Same last name.
Was the town ever able to help you out with the Space Act?
So last year, before Mindset Connect was built, I spoke to Marilyn Ruano and she helped us out with the Roberto Alonso. And I started off just doing the community events, the career days, the stuff like that. And it was so overwhelming, the people coming to me, that it just organically grew into this. There was such a need and a deficit that I found, within our community. I'm a Miami Lakes lifer. I grew up here. So I know all the little nooks and crannies, and in the Veterans Day Park, which I don't think it's that anymore, but that park, right by Latin America, where it used to be, homeschoolers meet there on Thursdays. And they're just outside in the park, I call it very hippie, and I wanted more, we both went to private school, and again, because of my traditional background, I wanted them to have certain things that I felt were missing from the homeschool life. But I did see that the education was just it's customized, you can't beat that, and it's such a smaller scale. But with that comes the socialization, which is part of education and all of those things. So it's a happy medium. It's like a hybrid of both, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I was asking about the curriculum, because I know that homeschool, the moms at homeschool, they each can choose the
Right.
curriculum they want to
It's the same
teach.
thing.
So let's say one of those moms wants to put their child in just for, do they get to choose how many courses they want to put
Yes.
their child in, or is it have to be like a full day?
So we do have like part-time and full-time, but they choose
Oh,
what they want them to do within that time.
Mhm.
So the parent, it's parent-led, if they don't know and
So
they're,
the parent stays there? No,
No,
the parent
the
drops.
parents drop off.
Okay.
Right, and then our electives are anything from coding to sewing, to STEM, to wood shop. So they kind of learn an array of whatever they're interested in.
Have you ventured out to sports yet, or?
We have, a lot of our sports though are tied into schools so that they can go in the after-school program and they can, for example, we have a few kids in the K-8 cheer team. We have a few that play in football in different other high schools. So I would love to kind of build relationship with the Miami Lakes schools to be able to easily facilitate that, and keep it within the Miami Lakes, because a lot of them are going elsewhere. And I'd rather, keep it here in our town.
Thank you so much.
What are your grade levels now, if or eight?
Kindergarten through 12th grade.
And what do you have now enrolled?
We, number wise or kid wise?
kid one.
Is it have?
No,
Yeah.
in grade wise, you have,
So it depends, every grade is different, funny enough, our highest grade is always because of the FSA fourth grade. You know, our largest group is fourth grade, but we do have a little bit of everything.
So your teachers teach a mixed number of
Right,
age?
everybody is mixed, it depends, we customize it towards learning style.
Mhm.
So there's some kids who learn better visually, some more hands-on, and we have a teacher who, that's their expertise, every teacher kind of has like a niche. So we customize it even that way.
Thank you so much. Ladies.
Hello. Okay, so I do have something written down just because public speaking part. For me. Okay. My name is Mia Zamora and I'm the president of Key Club and Silver Knights nominee for Miami Lakes Academy. And I'm here to request the town of Miami Lakes support in procuring educational supplies for underfunded schools. As president, I've increased membership from about 90 members to 270 members this year. And these students are able to gain community hours in service with this club, emphasizing its importance, which is why I want to expand it. This project began as EDU Cuba, which is a nonprofit that I personally started. We've already donated over 2,000 items to kids in Cuba. It's a specific school and it's 280 kids. They're getting like 6 notebooks instead of 11, which they need. They're getting 1 pencil a month. So, you know, we're trying to allocate as much school supplies as possible to them. And now I'm requesting support for the continuation and expansion of Project EDU, which is an umbrella term for just any project focused on underserved schools that I'm like. Currently, we have environmental classes that we're working on, and we're going to be doing beach cleanups to collect like reusable materials. And these reusable materials are going to be those bases. We're going to get seeds like probably donated from Home Depot. We've been in contact. And they're going to be like little care packages for the kids signed up for Miami classes. We have a few like target schools. A lot of them are in the Miami Gardens area just because Miami Lakes is, you know, it's pretty affluent. And, you know, thankfully because of our educational board, like we do have a lot of like supplies and our kids are well served. But when you reach like Highway Gardens, Miami Gardens, it starts to get a little bit more like C schools, B schools, D schools. And I was really like, you know, that's a need that needs to be met in our community. And I feel like, you know, as this community and like as a society, like we can help each other, you know, we're close in proximity and we have the same goals, which is obviously furthering education for children and, you know, having children in mind. So yeah, we're just asking for, you know, any help with visibility, possibly like any like way that we can serve like any schools, you know, any underfunded schools that you guys have in mind, we would just be, you know, willing to help.
So this is what I would suggest to you, being that you seem to be one of the leaders at your school. So next Tuesday, as you heard, do you know Moritz Acosta? Okay, so he's like our student liaison and he's gonna do that subcommittee. And what he's gonna be doing, and that's what we asked all the principals here, right? To send student representatives from your school to a meeting at 4:30 next Tuesday. So you would- Right, but what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
But-
I'm her teacher. I'm sorry, I didn't get to present.
Yeah.
I'm her teacher, so my name is Miss Alonso. No, it's okay. I didn't want to steal your shine. But I am her teacher, and one of my questions, I think, to the board was, how open is the board? I saw that it was public schools, right? And so how open is the board to?
No, we also invite private, but the private school in Miami Lakes was Early Lakes and they.
Okay, we're a public charter. I mean, we are a public
Yes.
charter, so we do receive public funds. So
Mhm.
like
doesn't matter.
she is actually,
They're outside of bounds.
Right, we have to only be the.
within, that was my question.
Or, well. HMO's outside the town.
But it's the whole,
they-
it's the all, it's the kids.
Right.
Out of school.
Yeah, because
So-
that was my question, because I know we happen to sit
That's
like right beside Barbara Bowman,
Yeah.
right? And so,
Our kids go there too.
you know,
I know.
my whole thing was, we were advised by, somebody I think who sits on one of the boards, Miss Aleman, to come down to you guys, and so, I wasn't sure about the geographic location, right, like where we would land, because I know.
But even if you're outside the town, right? I still think we should open the invitation to you, right? Student leader.
I think you can get something done, maybe with the other rest of the students.
Because at that meeting, there should be representatives from all 6 schools.
Correct.
And I would assume, maybe I'm wrong, but if you're a student leader at those schools, whether it's the K-8s or the high school, you probably are leaders for some of the clubs, right? And those are the ones that you will want to tie. Anything we do, we have to go through that general over there, which is intergovernmental, right? We go through the town goes to them, they go to the region, it's like a long process. I'm not saying that it might not be a process, I'm sure there is through the schools. But I think that would be great if you can connect with the student leaders at the other schools and maybe brainstorm on how you can do it.
Yeah, I've been in contact with the governor for Key Club. I've been trying to get it through with every single school that has a Key Club in it, and I've also been trying to institute Key Clubs in elementary schools near me, so that we can get that like expansion, you know? So we've been trying to do that, but you know, there was just more of a focus on like visibility and like letting you guys know that.
She was Silver Knights nominee as well, so that's part of the reason why I'm here, is I'm nominating her, and so. Part of the purpose was for her to be able to further her project,
So
right?
you're a senior, right?
Yeah.
So I will give up, let me,
I think Maritza mentioned, and I'm sorry, I don't know if I connected you with him, but I was the one that received your email. And he mentioned that he did wanna bring that up to the board,
okay.
so, just so you.
Right, so I'm gonna keep it out there in DC right now, for whatever reason, it's always in town, I don't know why.
I love his, he's great.
Yeah, it's funny because he's texting me, we're not meeting him,
I remember.
so I think comes back Sunday or something like that. Just reach out to him, like I said, maybe come to
Maybe
a
great,
meeting. I mean, I'm gonna come to the meeting anyways, I'll be here,
I would be
but it'd be great if you guys. did it, okay?
Absolutely, I think even at, you would find a lot of clubs at Romans that would be willing to help you.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Listen, anything has to do with students and advocacy, I'm all for
Right.
it, and anything you want
I
to
think
do.
you're doing an amazing job.
I think for the most part, I think most of us. I mean, I went to school in Cuba, I know what you're talking about, when I was a kid, so. I'm gonna give you, I think the way we can help out.
You know, it's even like I was Cuban, I just, you know, I wanted to explain I was more responsible, right, kind of, so, yeah, so,
That's awesome.
thank you guys for listening.
About you.
You was in our.
Yeah, am I-
Right on the date of the student.
I'm sending her an email now with the date.
What you said, I mean, I just gave her a written phone number for her to reach out.
Thank you so much.
I remember she's in DC now, so I'm gonna be calling today. give her
Yeah,
an
that's
answer.
okay.
I'm sure he's probably watching the meeting.
Oh my God.
Who knows what they say?
All right, guys. Any other public comments? All right, so we're doing public comments and we're moving on to the approval of minutes. You have the August 28th meeting, guys. I don't know if any of you had a chance to read it. Huh?
You are more than welcome to stay.
And you can- it's up to you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah. We would have eaten in the room. In the same room. Good see you, Mom.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Bye. Sorry. I will. I'm the one with the sneakers.
You look like a student as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you got. Work and I literally, I'm like, I dropped off my daughter. I was like, yeah, this is so embarrassing. You look
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much.
Take care.
You too.
All right,
That's
guys.
great that she's doing that.
Yes.
I think we're ready with
Any initiative for kids get involved. So we're back to the minutes. I don't know if you all had a chance to read it, but. I need a motion and a second to approve these minutes.
Motion to approve minutes?
I'll second it.
It was a refrigerator.
Well, maybe you guys are ready to take a vote, then we must.
Yes.
If I'm ready, just a second, you ready? So all in favor?
Aye.
All right, guys, moving on.
Staff updates, we can't go to staff update, she's not here right now.
So we'll skip her for now while she's on.
The
Good.
flexibility,
Yeah.
Well, basically covered.
yeah.
And we can't do student member
But there's no
update
student
either.
member updates, so basically digital school flyer, obviously.
We're getting a class,
Shout out to the schools, they've been advised.
what private class you did, basically.
Well,
The PM one,
Yeah.
PM two, PM three.
Right,
we'll
so
get
the
those.
whole point of vocabulary have been in contact with Mr.
Torres.
Torres and trying to clarify, and the whole thing is there any other instrument that we could just measure vocabulary? Obviously, the data for this year will be hard to do because we just did PMI.
Correct.
But hopefully
Well,
by
we
the end
will
of the
have
school
some next
year,
year.
we'll have something to compare. The Miami Lakes Library guys, I think I showed you numbers last time.
Have it in here, no? And that's not it.
Well, we had 317 kids who participated in the 9 events, I believe, that they had done all the way up to the end of the summer. I think that's a pretty good number, if you ask me. Yeah, I mean, it's 9 events, it's about 30 some kids, pretty bad. And obviously a subcommittee meeting, you guys know it's gonna be Tuesday, I will be here. You guys are welcome to come, but I know,
And you can also come at 3
No, I-
at UM, so I do not think I'll be, no, I had it in my calendar, but then they moved up my appointment. So I was like, I got it.
so and with that, we're done with old business. I wanna go back to staff updates and give Io a chance, if you have anything you want us to go to.
Updates, I know we talked about budget last meeting. In regards to the books, we were able to order the books, not through Scholastic, but books by the bushel from Carousel. She told me that you guys have ordered books from them, I guess, years ago. So we ordered books and those are the boxes you see back there.
Oh, we got books.
So your books are
Okay.
okay.
We gotta find a way to get them to Mary Collins, right?
Um,
So you wanted to take it to Mary Collins, or something at talking?
we can take it, but I don't know if you guys want to go through it. It's there. We just received them, I think, yesterday or the day before. And let me check if there's anything else for you guys. I wanted to ask you about the video. You been in contact with him?
Yes.
Okay.
So I met with Gani last week, I think it was on Friday. We went over the video. And we did some changes. We added the grams, Andrea speaking. We added Mr. Alonso, some more footage of them. Dr. Cabrera. There was a couple of things that we wanted, to make sure that they were in there, especially when it comes to the sponsors. Headquarters Toyota here speaking, and we added a lot more into it. So he also changed some of the fonts and made sure that at the end of the video, we did have the names of every student who won, teachers retiring, and so on. So it was a good meeting, and he did he took his time and was
So
able
next time
to.
we'll just obviously do it then.
Yeah, next time.
Like what you want before he.
Yes,
Actually
absolutely.
does it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and he, I told him for next event, I mean, we did it this time around, I guess the whole confusion was that we weren't able to meet, just like
Yeah.
you said. But I explained to him that, just to make sure that when he enters the event, he's gonna see that the main 5 tables or 6 tables right in the front are the main people who, we would like to have in those videos, our sponsors, our school board members and so on. Right.
Yeah, we only processed payment for the last bit of it, so that's why I wanted to make sure.
Just to make sure that we get that squared away. It's been a while.
I think, and then for me, some other things I wanted to mention, and I don't know if you're gonna be bringing this up, but. I guess encourage you guys to discuss if you want to start promoting the student member position. We went back to minutes, resolutions, Hector and I had to do some digging around.
Yep.
So
That
part of,
is a new business. That's 10.
oh, okay, so I'll leave that for that.
I should go to that now.
Oh,
And one last thing I wanted to mention, I know we talked about shirts last meeting. I ended up getting the quote after I ordered the books, so the money's gone in the books. If you guys want to order the shirts, so I do have a quote that we can move on. And I do have the shirt sizes we need,
How
so
much
if you're okay with it coming out of your new budget,
I have 2
just
shirts.
let me know.
I don't need.
How much is the shirt?
I have like
it
one,
was-
I
it
have
was-
one, and then I have another.
No, it was for Mario, it was for
Yeah.
Maritz and for Claudia. Those are the
Right.
ones.
I mean, I think with the rest, but it would be like the same seven, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it would be the same.
Well, speaking of which, are we changing from EAB to EAC?
And that's, I think that's all part of your, right?
No, I'm just.
Okay.
At this point, I'm just.
Then I
I'll
have
give
to
you an
go up.
update for that because I know
You're gonna
Mario
have to go
brought it
to-
up. You guys had already gone up last year, or Lorenzo went on behalf of EAB. And the new revised proposed resolution for you guys was the student member and renaming you guys to EAC. And if you look back at the minutes, the resolution was passed with the amendment that one part was striked out, the name change. So name change was not part of what was passed.
Okay.
So I recall being there, and I believe you were there too, the day that we spoke on behalf of it.
Mhm.
And I remember us asking for the appointment of a student advisor because we had only one application for months, right?
Committee.
But I
And
remember,
then we have requested the name change, but I remember there was objection to the name change because it would be confusion with elderly affairs. It will be the same initials. So I do recall it not being, that part being voted
I
down.
don't remember leaving the advisory part, the name, the word of advisory. I think it was just committee,
It was just
education,
came from board to committee.
right? There's not that,
But anyways, the name change didn't pass at all.
Right.
So you guys are, continue to be education advisory board.
so I didn't change at all.
No,
But
the-
because the letters, the
There
initial
was
be
some
EAC,
confusion.
we changed from board to committee.
elderly affairs committee.
Elderly affairs.
EAC. So that's what. They object.
I can, if you guys want, I
I thought
can,
that they all voted on it.
they did. So I'm gonna go ahead and forward you the email that I sent Hector, because it goes into detail as to what the proposed resolution was. What meeting it was in, the vote and the minutes of what was the comment made, and the comment was. Where the motion was made to approve the new proposed resolution, but striking out the name change, like, no, we're not approving the name change. They approved everything else in the resolution.
The resolution.
But I'll
Yeah,
share with you
it's
guys so you
still
have
it's At the point. It was a student and they moved, remember, we had to ask for an exception from our because we lived outside the town. But it was a student at HML and he's the only one that applied. So that's what.
No, and that was at a separate.
That was
meeting.
separate meeting than that.
The resolution was just to include the student member.
Yes.
Right.
And then you guys went to council.
Well, we went to
just
council
to
for-
request them to waive the rules of the manual.
No, I remember, we went to council for the student member to change it from EAB to EAC.
And they approved the student.
They approved the student, they didn't have a problem with the student at all. But I remember about the EAB part, about it being strict.
I'm gonna send them to you guys now.
Like,
I
I
have it.
remember the vote, it was 6-2, and I said, I'm telling you, I can tell you how it went down the line. All right, so you're gonna send that out.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sending it
so I
right
do have one question, it goes back to the manatee poster, right?
Okay.
So my understanding is that that's gonna be coming up in November, it's gonna be like an exhibition.
So, digitally, one, we already posted it to our socials, or we started from, and we actually got some comments, I think, from the students' family members. So it's already been posted that he's the winner and this is the temporary seal that won. And then digitally, the only option we have is promoting it in that, have you guys seen that new screen we have in the front, which promotes all our meetings and all that, that's what we're gonna be promoting the seal
So,
as
so
well.
if he's able to print it out, Miami Lakes
Oh.
Center will be able to just. post
Yeah,
it
we
to-
can put it somewhere.
Yeah,
somewhere
saying that if anybody
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
in, just sees it and. I don't know if it could be done inside town chambers or it would just be outside the chambers, that's.
Yeah. I'll talk to the team to see what makes,
But just make sure that the
More
town
sense.
is aware because.
but yes, I'm gonna let them know that we are pending that from, yes. Miami Lakes Education, and I already sent him the logo, the temporary seal.
Thank you. So guys, we're on to new business, student advisor for the 24-25 school year. So. I received a call from one of our students wanting to know if there was. How do you appoint, how does it work? But part of the argument that he made is that we never advertised it. I believe we advertised it plenty. And I had a conversation with him. There was only one application, and I think we, like, for 2 or 3 months, we talked about it. So he was asking, how do you guys do that? How many years? So that's a good question. I know, I think we had a debate at one point when we.
Well,
Position.
I'm sorry
It was school year
to
two.
interject, but to be clear, in what I just shared with all of you, the minutes from October 25th, 2021 from EAB state, the student advisor would be like the board's election and would be one fiscal year on a calendar year.
And we
The
made.
student would
school
also
calendar.
be a non-voting member. No, you said on fiscal year. That's what
Did
the
on
minutes
physical
say.
year?
October.
So how you do all the rest of the board's
Like every
elections.
January.
And that's what was presented upon
But
that.
that wouldn't make sense because then we're breaking the school year.
Yeah.
Exactly, my friend. That's why I remember we did discuss something about it being.
But that's just our
on a
opinion,
cap.
so we can change that with a motion.
Well, we have to go back to see what, if the resolution specifically states that.
Yeah, I don't think the resolution would, it's just about having an advisor.
Yeah, I have it here.
Yeah, but we should put it on.
Yeah, because it
In
makes
the
it,
resolution.
it makes a difference if it ends in the school year.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
because he's already working.
And we had discussed that. I remember we had discussed it about it, that we couldn't change it
They
in
bring somebody
January
else to
because
work.
that, exactly.
But then who votes on the student advisory? We do.
We do.
You guys are doing that.
So that the whole point becomes, are we doing it yearly? Are we doing it?
It has to be yearly, but based on the school calendar.
Because we're not yearly. We're per term.
No, you guys,
Until we get replaced,
Right,
or you resign.
right. Yes, we're not yearly.
No.
We
What do you
are
mean
as
yearly?
our
We are as,
person.
we're 4 years.
no, because the person can leave and you guys will continue on if the new person doesn't.
Right, but that's what I mean, like, right, but we are basically whoever put us here.
Your point.
I think.
I guess I don't follow it that way, just because you guys can be appointed at any moment. It doesn't matter if it's the beginning of the
Right,
term, the end. or
right,
the
right,
middle.
right, yes.
What
that
you
should
guys
be
have are your
school year.
elections or at the beginning of the fiscal year. That's kind of what I'm going on.
It should be school year.
It should be school year because it would be difficult for a new person.
So no, it doesn't say, in terms of the resolution, it doesn't say that.
No.
So at this point, being that it does say it's once a year, well, it means that every year we should reopen the applications, right?
So this year at the end of the school year,
So yeah, at the end of the school year, you start.
when you start.
Right, it would probably be, yeah, before the end of the school year, so, because I just think if we're gonna have a new member, there needs to be a transition.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying, and it's not fair to appoint somebody in August or September, by the time they get all, it's already in November, and then miss, okay.
So I guess you guys need to inform us of
So,
when you would have that election so that we can properly plan the promotion before that.
And the way that we were voting on it was similar to the Graham Scholarship.
Right.
It was the
Yeah, it says
application,
here, minimum
line-
grade point average.
blinded,
Right, but no names,
No,
no
no,
nothing.
yeah,
Again, I don't know how many kids would be interested, like I said, when we tried it the first time,
we open it up and work.
we opened it up and there was only one interested person.
But to provide the town with a specific term, so it could be in the resolution, what do you guys want?
That it should be,
So I'll make a motion,
I'll ask the attorney.
yeah.
so you don't need to make a motion.
No,
to
no,
change
do it just in case, but I'll get his feedback.
That is
and then
correct.
leave it.
Okay, so I want to make a motion that we open yearly the application process for student advisor to the Education Advisory Board. Let's say around March of every school year to give them a chance to apply. And for us to elect a new advisor every May. Like a discussion on that.
No.
So March, you give them basically a month, whatever, 6 weeks to apply. At the May meeting, if anything, we could always vote on it. And then they can come in maybe July 1st or something like that. You know, our school systems. July 1st of our
Yeah,
fiscal.
like the. whoever's
So
here
there'll be
can
like a
show, right?
transition and
Like
quick
the
switch.
boards.
Okay, so we have a first, we have a second, a motion second. So all in favor?
Aye.
Well, that was pretty simple. All right.
I think we're gonna argue on that.
No. Guys, annual awards of excellence.
You know, I was gonna mention, I was like, can we start?
I think we should
nominations
come
way
up.
early?
Or that's the.
Earlier?
Yeah, it's not running now.
No, not now, no, but since you were up, I was just thinking to start them earlier, 'cause I want more people to like.
That's live, but that's really up to the schools. And
Yeah, I'd like to have every category out there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
so at this point, what I'm hoping
So
to
what do
do
you-
is for us to come up with a date.
So that's
So,
why you put it.
so if we can come up with a date, we can start looking at a location, we
When's
can.
the end of the third quarter?
I mean,
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. You want.
When's the end of the quarter?
No, but we should do it somewhere in May. We're not gonna do it in the third calendar. That's like before school is.
Hmm.
You mean to start nominations?
To start the nominations. I'm saying you start the nominations,
I think we started the nominations pretty early on this year.
Yeah.
I believe it was.
By the third
around
night,
January.
by the third night, we should already know who your nominations. are.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, we started at that. That's when you,
The
the
end of
point,
the third
the
night
third
weeks.
9 weeks is when we
it's
start
not,
the nominations. When,
Maybe I got the calendar.
I don't know that we should pick a date now, because remember, a lot of the schools have not brought out their prom date, days and all the events that they have going on yet. So
I
let's
know.
wait a little bit more. So
But for
we-
nomination,
They don't have a graduation because I looked on Johnson,
No.
no, Johnson's calendar, they have a prom,
And you
but they don't have a
can-
graduation.
No, but all schools
May is-
know- all schools know when their proms are gonna be. They're all doing this.
Yeah, probably, but you know, Johnson, I was looking, I need to know, and it tells me their finals, but it doesn't tell me graduation date.
yeah.
So let's
I'm
do
like,
this.
That's like making
They don't-
Oh,
So they
yeah.
put you-
By the graduation.
But prom,
No.
prom is
Prom,
on,
yeah, prom, yeah.
yeah, prom is
Prom
on
and
there,
homecoming
but
is there.
it's not
And
their
then
finals
the
or
only thing,
What is he possible?
Yeah, so you're-
yeah. I mean,
Oh, you're in there.
Yeah.
all
We're
senior
ready to go.
activities are out.
Oh, she.
The only thing you have is graduation,
That's it.
but that's
Yeah,
usually at the last week of
that's
May.
Oh, you.
I know
were.
homecoming's different, I haven't seen.
The third grading period, I think is sometime in April, and that would be too late for nominations.
April 9th is the
Yeah.
end of the third grade.
Yeah.
April 11th is.
We're not gonna do that. Last year we started like in February, we started,
No, we didn't start in February.
didn't we?
I think
No.
we started like
It was
beginning of
late.
January. No, it was not.
For the nominations?
It's very early.
Yeah, we started early.
5/11 is prom.
I thought we started nominations.
I think we
late
closed it in
after
March.
previous year.
Five elections prom. That was the only event last year.
We did it very early last.
Yeah.
Prom is on 5/11/24.
When is
Then
it?
it's
Five
not
eleven?
Scholarship.
Graduation first week of June.
Okay, so.
Yeah,
they don't give you a
they always
date,
say
though.
that.
Where did you get that from?
The senior events 2024.
Online?
Yeah.
5/11?
Yeah. I look forward to it.
So let's do this.
So you know what we need, I'm sorry,
No, it's okay.
no, we just need to get this would include you. We just need to get it pushed out to the schools earlier, because I think the schools didn't get it.
So let's push
Didn't
it out to
circulate to the
January 1st.
parents or anything,
The schools were made aware, and only because I'm looking back here,
but when,
What day?
January 13th.
So.
but it didn't, but my school, at least mine, and others, I remember you had told me, was it?
Was
Goldman
that,
had
did you
done-
send it to
You
intergovernmental
guys-
affairs, or is that when you send it?
It was sent. School board member, all the principals and intergovernmental, January 13th.
But then it has to be dispersed out to schools, but
But all the
I don't know
principals-
how they did it.
What I'm saying, the principals were also copied on that email. The principals do not
And then we
disperse,
closed
you
it
know,
in
that's up
March.
to them.
And we said deadline for nomination was March 31st.
Okay, so then we need
But
to,
we need
January
to put
1st.
it
we
more
need
in.
to promote it more, push it more, put it out there more, so.
And we even allocated funding, I think, for.
We even
Yeah,
allocated
for
funds.
Do it on
Facebook,
Facebook,
Instagram.
remember?
Okay, then
So
something.
we
has
did
to
our
change.
part in the time.
I say we just push it out January 1st, you know,
But you can tell your principals are closed on January 3rd.
and that's when you still push it out, already. Doesn't matter.
No,
It started.
All
we
right,
need to find a
so-
way to get.
So the issue will be, the first thing is we need to come up with a date,
Participate.
and we're not gonna do it today because we wanna know school events. Could you please, I guess, send to governmental, a request for the high schools to submit their senior event dates? So at least we can discard those things and we can try to come up with a date. Just the three, well, actually, all the schools, if they have any events at the end of the school year,
Submit their end of the year, right?
Right. so we can try to come up with a date, and we don't want a conflict with any event that the
That's
schools
for
may be
sure.
having. So if they could submit that, then maybe next month they can come up with a date and we can start looking at locations and.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna see,
Graduation date?
well, graduation is not gonna be out, but
No.
that's usually like the last week of May, first
What
week
was
of
the you
June,
were asking?
senior events, any senior. Or even, yeah, the K-8s or middle schools, and we have end of the year trips, I don't know what they do.
Yeah, they do some of these trips, Busch Gardens trips and.
So we did it in May last,
May, what was it again?
May 11th, we did last.
Okay, so I think that's good because nobody does that.
Huh?
Nobody.
No, we had,
But the other one was in another.
And that's when we did it, but May 11th is going.
well, we had a lot of categories that weren't filled.
From,
Right.
That was the thing. A lot of categories that didn't.
Only three.
Huh?
Mhm. We missed 3 categories
Mhm.
and 2 students couldn't make it.
Mhm.
And everybody else was there. So we did pretty good.
I mean, I thought we did well. Listen, we had, I think about 125 people.
No, people showed up, yes, that was
And we
perfect.
have more than
But I
that.
would have
because
wanted like at
people
least
that-
a few more. per
Yeah,
category.
more, I just want more.
More per
people-
category.
Yeah, more per category is what I would like to see.
So what happens at the high school would nominate somebody, in the middle school, we're not doing grade. So I know we have things that we do, what is it, A?
And we need to
But-
discuss some of the parameters on the application, that it needs to be minimum of so many words.
Right, because one of them had like.
Great
what is it,
player.
a
Oh,
sentence?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one of the teachers, great.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah, there wasn't anything.
And the teacher as well, because I think you guys went back and forth.
Well, the
Towards
issue
the
was
last-
at the very end, it was
Yeah.
arrested or not.
Correct, we need to decide on that one.
So there were a couple of the teachers out there, but they did is they put the school address, and that's not what we want, you know, it's, are they arrested all the time?
But again, I kind of feel like if they're
Teacher.
in the town, they're providing their
And-
service,
and-
they live half their life in the town.
And-
But that goes with the students as well.
and
We don't nominate students who live outside.
Exactly, there are
So-
students,
So
so.
we only nominate students that are living in the town.
Exactly.
So,
But do we
we,
verify their address?
well, but it's what's on the system, that's what.
Because you know,
But how do we?
they
verify?
can put an address of whoever.
The same thing goes for.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's what I'm
that's-
saying.
yeah.
But Jessica, but how do we verify? with that?
But then okay, limited to the amount of teachers.
It's social work, I gotta-
I remember back in the day, we used to go to the houses.
And limited to the top.
Listen, I visit
Back in the
every
day.
single fifth grader.
That's, I know, that's when I started working, they would go to the houses and double check and
And
make
get-
sure they're there.
And guess who did all of Bob Grant?
You did?
Exactly,
I remember, oh my God, they want to say that.
yes. Well, we're not gonna get into that. 'cause I
That
know
was when
who-
the boundaries.
I
were
know the
enforced.
switches were too, but.
Moving on.
That's when the boundaries were enforced.
Yeah.
So we're gonna table that item then until next month.
Mhm.
Hopefully we'll have more clarity from the high schools and we'll move on. So finally, guys, October's coming up. We have to do committee reports to the council.
Where do you see this? Because I see announcements and one.
We added it.
I don't know why you were not.
Yeah,
Listen,
we-
you were sitting
we,
next to me when I-
Additions and deferrals, this is part of the addition. You said yay?
Yeah, you voted in favor. Just to make sure. Thank you. The council.
I'm just tired today.
So guys, you just verify that those people that I put appointed, you are the correct names, I would hate to do that, so we know that our budget last year was $45,500. And I tried to put the purpose of how we use the money on the right, and how many people, like, for example, Imagination Library, I think you emailed me yesterday, right now we have 196 kids. That we talked about, the library events, 317 kids. So whatever we could, I put it there. The initiatives and the events are things that we participated throughout the year. If I'm missing anything, guys, feel free to correct it. I think I tried to cover everything I could remember. And finally, on the back of the page is future considerations and projects, and those are the things that I know we have talked about doing this year.
There's no welcome books, like nobody is. I mean, there's like nobody
I
started,
I know,
like welcome, that's like. the
I don't
first
see that,
book.
to try to clarify, right?
Yeah, I know.
I wanted to know, I'm still confused, I don't know where. we
What?
get
Okay,
that-
we can read it for you guys, because I think
No, I read
We can call it
the,
out there.
yes, I
We
read
put
the
it out
like the welcome one is when they.
Yeah, and this,
enroll.
to be very specific, this is
Yeah.
for September 2023.
Oh, so this is per month,
So
okay.
that's what I was explaining,
Yeah,
that
so
just
the-
going forward, I'm gonna attach the monthly report so you guys can take a look.
Of how many
First
have
thing I was
enrolled.
back to speak.
Do you know how much is this costing just for this month?
Yeah, like per
I
month.
have to go back and look, but I can tell you, since we're on the subject, I can tell you, so we went back with finance and you guys usually, I think, budget about $4,000 for this program. We went back, so in the system, it kind of doesn't match what is on your expense report just because of the way finance works. We pretty much give them the lump sum and then they go deducting.
No, but
The lump sum does not come out of the committee in terms of like the report, it comes out of somewhere else in the general fund, but it gets expensed little by little. So all that, I mentioned that just because we found that during the pandemic, there was we actually used less books. So we didn't use your full $4,000 account, but we had already paid it. So what happened is they technically have a credit. We have a credit.
We
with
have a
them.
credit with them.
So although we went over the 4,000, for example, this year, because I guess enrollment went up, you guys did over the $4,000 in cost, but you're still covered by it because we had a credit from 2 years ago.
Do we know how much that?
So I'm just mentioning that because if you see it go up next year, I don't want it to be like a shock effect.
Well, no, my only concern with that is that, and we go back where they have to finalize the budget. But this board voted to cut the budget.
No, the budget is done, by the way, I'm sorry, you were there.
Well, I went to the meeting, but they never talked about committees per se.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, they did.
They never stated, it was never stated on the amount of.
They didn't state the amount, I'm sorry, but they
Correct.
stated that your guys are all staying at the
That's
same
taken
amount
out.
as last
Yeah.
year. That's the final number.
I think I was just caught up on Councilman Garcia.
They're trying to give
Wanted
money
everybody's
everywhere.
budget.
No,
It's like
they went back to taking the money from somewhere else, so the committee budgets were kept as well.
As it was like.
So that, they didn't give a number, but they said they were gonna leave it.
So we're
at
not
that.
gonna.
So whatever number is last, which, that's why in your agenda packets, there's a copy of your budget, because I wanted you guys to start looking at what your amount is.
So the 45.5, so we're not gonna get funded for
Further,
the event.
no.
That's the one thing we have requested, so we'll have to come up with a.
I have a question. You said there was a credit?
Yeah.
And if there is a credit, do they have an option of instead of us buying more books? Can they provide those books to us?
No, this was.
No,
that's
no,
not
no.
library.
Right, Imagination Library, for example, if there's a credit there, is there any way that us as EAB can use that credit to purchase the books and bring them to us? And we give them out?
No, because this is from Dolly Parton, this goes to her fund. So that goes to that company.
Right.
That
And then
just
that
allows,
company
so
is
like
the
if
one
I,
that sends them automatically to the
Got
kids'
it.
houses.
yeah.
And then, so there was a credit, so we had more kids this year, you said?
Yeah.
And then we went over, but since there was a credit, it.
Yeah.
Now what
balanced
should
out.
happen is, like, for example, if you were to tell me we did not use much money. And there's a $3,000-4,000 credit,
No, it's not 3,000.
okay, then we could try to transfer some of that money temporarily this year to something.
And
else.
again, the credit's already with them, like it's not in your account.
Right. But what I'm saying but then we shouldn't be using that money this year.
Yes,
If you
you
have a
should,
credit.
because that credit's not enough to cover the program.
So what's the program? What's the cost of the
It's-
program?
it's-
Well, that's what
So
she.
you guys were, but you
Yeah,
were
the monthly
estimating at about
$1,200.
$4,000 for the year.
How much could we spend monthly? Like, can you get us, like, you got us the number
Yeah,
here for
I can
September.
get you an estimate, because again, it changes, right? Like, I just wanna be very
Yeah,
clear, it
that's-
changes,
yeah,
because
yeah.
if you're dropping, graduating,
When-
coming
At
in.
least when I came into this committee, like, we've never had
We
an
never had
actual
this.
number. We don't have none of
I
it.
mean, I know we're getting somewhere now. but-
New to us.
Okay.
We really don't
Okay,
understand.
so you say that every month is a different number, right? Because some drop, some enroll,
Yeah.
things like that, okay.
Okay.
So why would there be an estimate if we know how much, okay, so this is September, right? So we should know exactly how much. we
No,
spent.
this isn't, okay, no, this is exactly the September.
Yeah.
What I meant of the estimate is I can get you an estimate of what you're spending on
Oh, like
average.
no,
Yeah, monthly, because I see the monthly
Right, right.
hit, and obviously every month is different, so it's an
Right.
estimate. That's
So
what I
how
meant
much
by
was
that.
September for these?
I can tell you.
Because we have 139 regular books, 146 enrollment books, 7 graduation books.
So basically, the number we're seeing on our budget is not accurate.
No.
The way finance works, unfortunately, they have to, like, every time there's an expense, they have to record it to your line item, right? Because we have to be very clear about when that money is actually being used. Dolly Parton, like the actual system, whatever you want to call it, they have a credit right now, which is a good thing because it covered the deficit that you guys would have been at with them. Because the program itself was technically, in you guys covering in this last year for the kids that have dropped, added, whatever, it really came out to more than $4,000, which is what you guys were given in funds. So when you look at your line item, your report,
And it's like.
you're actually at a deficit. So you guys are actually at a deficit, and I was explaining to Hector, when I first saw the budget, I was like, you guys are at a deficit, so I can't buy X amount of books because you really don't have all that much money, you have to cover that deficit. I went to talk to finance and they're like, no, give them the full amount under the event line item to buy the books that you wanted to order, because technically they shouldn't be feeding that deficit. Because there's a credit for Dolly Parton Imagination Library. I'm sorry, I know it's a lot.
Okay, so
But that's
September-
why, that's why I ordered more than what your final budget showed. You know that much, right?
Right,
Okay.
that's what I got.
Okay,
Is there
so
any way,
September,
oh, sorry,
no. So September, we have 292 books. What was the
But that's
total
the
that we
thing.
spent in September?
Yeah, I can give you that amount.
As you look for that, but my understanding, you see how she had this 292 books, 292 books? But
This is
you,
just September.
but you told me.
No, hold on.
that we have 100
No, let me do this report for you with you guys. Hold on. So when you see the total at the end,
Mhm.
what I'm gathering from this is you have a total of 146 kids enrolled. Out of that 146, it breaks it down to either they got regular books, graduation books, or welcome books.
Mhm.
139 got regular books,
Mhm.
and
Seven,
7
yeah.
of those 146 got
Mhm.
graduation books, for a total of 146, not 297. You were adding both.
Where are you getting the?
The 146.
see, 139 and 7.
139 regular,
Uh-huh.
146 enrollment, and 7 graduation.
So your total
All
enrollment is
kids,
146.
all kids is 146. 100 of those 46, 139 got graduate regular books.
And
Mhm.
7.
And then they got 7 got graduation books. But your total enrollment of kids is only 146.
So shouldn't the enrollment be the first or the last one?
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
that's just how the system just. And then 0 of the kids got welcome books, but
Okay,
that
so then-
next month that may change, right? We may have a new kid, so they get. And you'll see that.
Okay, so you have enrollment, the 146 is your total,
Total books that were mailed out this month, correct?
139 were regular and 7 were the graduation books.
For a total of 146.
So those 7 graduation books, those kids are not gonna be here next month.
Okay,
And then I gave Hector, because I know this is coming up, I gave Hector a number of 196 of active children. Why are we seeing 146? You have to remember that active children. That number, like this is constantly changing
Mhm.
day per day. So active in the system 196, but at the moment, that's what was sent when September went out.
So
So
when
now in
did you print this?
October,
When was this printed? Because tomorrow's the last day. I mean,
this was printed yesterday.
so
So it changed
this
yesterday,
one we
you
are
got-
printing you.
No,
kids
no,
for-
what I'm saying is, active in the system is 186.
so
You have to
from yesterday to
understand,
today, you got,
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. At any given moment, there could be 196 active children, like you can enroll your kid today, it makes part of 196. That doesn't mean you got a book today. You probably have to
Right,
wait
right,
until
just
next
enroll.
month.
Right.
Yeah.
but then those.
But
were
you're,
registered.
that's saying, you were saying it would be like,
No, because it, guys, it moves
moves.
up and down every single day.
so, but where are
what
you
I
getting
can-
26 from?
Because I'm opening here and this is.
No, but I don't want the.
No, but
date.
I want you guys to know,
Mhm.
there's 196 active children in the
So
system.
since
Like,
we
that is what the
printed
system
this,
is
since
giving.
we printed this 50 more.
Yesterday.
No, that is not what's it's saying.
So
I
how
don't,
come yesterday you
but
had
wait, wait, wait,
146
wait.
and today you have 196?
Correct.
No.
196, okay, so
And
okay, let's go over this. Yeah, but let's go over this, okay, let's try to.
this is how many books were
Guys,
mailed.
let's
Mailed,
simplify.
mailed.
No,
But
you
you're
just
saying
told me
that these
just how
are
many
people are
enrolled.
enrolled.
No, this is how many books were mailed. That's what I said. This is the book count that was mailed. There was 146 mailed. Out of what was mailed, 139 were regular books and
That's
7
what
were
you
graduation.
So this is how many we spent money on, 146.
For the month of September,
For
yes.
September.
Yeah.
So whatever the amount she's gonna give you, we divide by 146.
Oh,
That's
I want to know
another shit.
how many books were sent out.
146 for the month of
That's it.
September alone.
The
So
only number
that's what
that
I'm gonna be
counts.
providing.
Right.
And I want to know what's the
But let
cost
me answer
of the
this question.
100.
That's what I wanna know.
Okay, guys, okay, let's do this one, because we're gonna get all confused.
So how much was spent for the?
My poor friend over there was driving him crazy.
Yeah.
He wants to go.
Okay. There's 146 books that were shipped,
Mhm.
or sent out,
So we have 196.
so we have
Kids.
196
Children.
registered. Okay,
So why didn't those
So-
kids get books?
right, those are the 50 kids, why were they not receiving books? Don't every.
I
kid have
don't know
kids?
what to tell you because I'm literally reading it
Exactly.
from the system.
Okay.
And I also pulled this from the system. I can tell you that from reading this means the books that were sent. And 196, you have to understand that every day there's a change. There could be a
Right.
kid that like,
Yeah, you can sign up, it doesn't mean. they
Doesn't
sent
mean you got a book right
You
now.
got a book sent.
Focus on the 146.
Oh, no.
Just how many books were sent out there? That's. the-
That's what we spend
that's what
money.
We spent.
That's it.
So it's a bit of a confusing program.
It is.
You
it
can
is.
have,
No, I got
you can have an event
And
of
then-
120,000 people
Uh-huh.
registered
Then you
to go
need
to your event and only 2 show up.
Correct.
Yeah, but if you're registered,
Just focus
okay,
on
but
the.
my
2 show up,
understanding of the program,
146.
if you are registered, you're getting a book.
You'll get books, yes.
That's
But
the
these were
premise.
for
and better yet,
They
and
don't
better.
get it until the next month. If they register in September, they get it the next month.
So just so you guys are clear on the money.
Right?
So in October, we're gonna have a
That's-
different number of
Of
books.
Of course,
that
of
were
course,
sent
of
out.
course.
So
That's a huge change.
no, that's.
Don't worry, I'm just not even gonna confuse you guys with the active number. I'm just gonna send, I'm gonna print this every month, so
Yeah.
you know how many books
And
are
I'm just gonna
mailed.
look at how
Like
many
she
were-
said, that's what you're being charged with.
Okay, but just to come up with.
And there's a monthly invoice, and the monthly invoice says the amounts and the
And that's what
dollar.
we've been asking for.
So.
The
how much
books,
you want?
the books and the amount, okay, got it, that's what I want.
So 146 for September.
When we were doing the budget in May, and I know it changes with the finance and everything, why weren't we provided with the actual amount?
Well, I just got access to it, so I can't tell you that. I just got.
So at the end of the day,
program this
the
week,
accounting
so now
department is the one that we have.
I'll
to.
be there.
To me, it's
It's
ridiculous
always
that,
been
yeah,
here.
yeah, it's ridiculous that they found a credit from 3 years ago.
Money. That's what we were supposed to-
But you're gonna provide it now.
How did they find that credit?
Yes, we're gonna get.
Told you, credit, you're not using it?
No, when I went into the system, I paid
December
here.
20.
Yeah.
23. How many was it?
Let's go September 20, what was called, what did you bring me?
So hold on, I'm gonna open the latest invoice.
There you go.
The latest invoice is for October 1st. So, but it's already generated in the
And that's
system.
for the books that were sent out in September.
Or they're
And
gonna
this
be.
says
It better be-
$434.
Okay,
For how many,
flat.
and how many
So
books
they
in that?
mailed,
Let's make sure it's the same 146 books.
here it says they mailed. They're charging for 194 here.
So how?
How is right here, it says it's only 146.
Because maybe the way the date breaks up, right? Like I can filter the setting and I put for all of September. So in all of September, this was the count. The invoice reads October 1st. I have to figure out for what dates this is looking at, right?
Okay.
Because it doesn't necessarily mean that it's from the first day to the 30th or whatever.
Okay, so what's the starting? cutoff?
I don't have it right now. I'd have to email them because the
invoice
invoice
doesn't say
doesn't, no, the invoice doesn't say it. The
Because-
invoice just says
So
how
the-
many books
So it looks
and
like it's
123
223 per book.
and then it says
2024 cents.
Okay, but now this does not. Coincide, so don't print these for us because it's not.
So you just
coincide
wanna see the
with
invoice.
Yeah.
Right, but what's the date of the, yeah, because this one's not coinciding with the invoice they're sending.
I just have to ask them for the detail. I don't know why it doesn't
Mhm.
say it.
This is a very confusing program. I'll tell you my concern, that we're funding a program that we really don't even know what we're doing.
Exactly,
And I'm starting to get worried about,
exactly,
I'm not saying that the kids don't benefit,
absolutely.
It's just the funding is.
but
Like how they do it.
between the 146, you know what I'm saying, like these numbers.
Mhm.
And my concern is that it's gonna come a point that we're not gonna
And
have
and
a
they- this
buffer.
is, you said monthly. You get an invoice.
Monthly,
monthly
they, yeah,
invoice.
monthly they.
Do they
So can
give
we
you
get
the
a copy
addresses?
of that
Yeah,
monthly invoice?
Yes.
Because at 434, that's 12 months, that's 49.
Wait, listen. Do they have? Like a letter or something of all the addresses that they sent the books to?
Yes, there's all the database of all the kids. that
Right.
Are on here, yes, it should be.
So
And they're all
each and every
referenced
one of
and
those
stuff.
kids, okay.
I don't want you to go check out 96 addresses. You know, I see, okay.
No, I just
Kids-
wanted to.
No,
make
but it
sure.
is on there, yes. Like in
Because
the
they
back
just say,
end,
here's
there's
the
a
books
list
and then
here.
not. Say exactly. I know, did you guys ever receive them? Did you guys ever get them?
I've never even heard of this.
No,
Well,
I used to take my.
When
books to the library.
Katie, no,
Right.
when Katie was born, I think that's when the town started. And they started with this, and then my dad had told me to get it, so I did it with Kaylee. I think she was 1 or 2, maybe, I don't even remember. But I remember getting books every month. It was nice. It was really nice hardcover books.
Which are the expensive
With,
ones.
yes, with like the label of the Imagination Library, really good books. I mean, the ones that you go to Barnes and Noble, really nice books. So, I mean, I enjoyed getting them and I didn't know it stopped at 5. Because I love that she loves books, but it was, so at least I know they come to the houses. I just make sure they're going to the houses.
Right.
And especially when maybe you don't have money to buy books and they're getting this nice,
Yeah, yeah.
really nice book. Oh my God, the titles were relevant titles, really good, and they were like, some of them were like big, like they were big books. And it was nice to get in the mail and open it up.
Yeah.
Is that something that we can look into, the choice?
No,
of
because
books
it's, you see, a
that
lot of
they
people don't know
provide,
about
and
it.
if we want instead of charging out,
Yeah.
hardcover to paper.
I don't think so
Oh my
because what I
Is that
told you,
also-
Yes, Katie was born to the.
the flyer that I shared with you guys, this is from the website, so it's already
Never heard
like,
of it.
they already predetermined the
And it's
roles
so
and the
nice.
list and all that, which is what the list.
You know what, preschool.
I'll share,
And let them know, really like,
At this point, let's
It looks
let me
like-
provide it.
Yeah, not go anywhere. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask.
for the year.
is there any way to put a limit to when it gets when
Yeah,
we
so
get
we
to
don't
the
go over
4,000, that we don't go over again?
I'm gonna find out, because that was,
434, if we're to keep this pace.
yeah, correct, 434, you're gonna
12 months,
exceed it.
$5,000 a year.
Yeah, we don't wanna go over budget. Once we're done with money, we gotta tell the program, hey, we're done.
Like this year, you're not forecasted to go over only because of that credit that lives there, but technically you'd run into that problem next year.
Yeah, because on the budget from May, it says the actual was 2,987.
So guys, I know we're stuck on that one thing, but we're
Okay,
about 15 minutes or we're allotted time.
all right.
So I need a motion and a second.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Adjourn, no, you need to approve the
Oh.
committee
Oh,
report.
I'll
Okay, yeah,
motion to
so-
approve the committee report presented by Hector Bot.
I second.
All right, so all in favor?
It's very detailed.
We're submitting this to the.
So, yes, I will add this as part of the council agenda for October. I need a memo from the chair for that, and I also need minutes, I'm sorry to put you. But no, because I know, because I need them by Monday,
Okay,
just so I can add it to the agenda.
so comments, guys, announcements, any
Yeah.
announcements?
No.
So listen, I got two announcements. Felicia came and invited us all again to Discover Springs at the Hispanic Heritage thing that they're doing, the cultural affairs. You're all welcome to go. She just wants us to let her know when we're gonna go. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be an interesting event. That's the second thing. Saturday, remember some volunteer appreciation. I don't know who registered, who did not register. And I believe it's at the old Angshua.
Oh, tomorrow, right? Oh, Saturday.
Saturday.
I'll be there.
All right,
I'm gonna figure out.
sure. So-
I know that Councilman Fernandez sent out information to the town. That we're gonna be hosting, giving gators, I'm speaking on giving gators. We're gonna be hosting pumpkins and pages, which is gonna be an interactive storytelling event for the families and students in the community. That's gonna be October 13 at 6 p.m. here at the Chambers. There's gonna be a lot of, fun activities, free reading books, coloring books, and all of. Huh? That's fine, right? They're doing it. So, we just wanted to let the EAB know that that event is happening, and if they would like to, come and support the event, just be there, maybe, free books, or maybe, whatever it is.
Did you guys into like the schools or anything?
It has been sent, since it's being done by the town through Councilman Fernandez. It was sent to you guys, the office. It should be announced, and then it
What's
should
the date
go
of it
to intergovernmental.
What's the date of it?
October 13th, that's a Friday.
Okay. 'Cause we haven't received anything.
Here at the chambers.
Because usually whatever is sent, then I guess it's
Mhm.
approved by.
Yeah,
then it
that's why,
goes
so I
out
guess
to-
it's in
to
the.
the, and then we
process.
push it out through our dojo or.
So yeah, I can look, any event that the town does, they invite us, I think it brings visibility to a committee. I'm not opposed to it. But obviously we need to make, I guess, the motion, right? Or you-
No, she's just inviting us to go.
But yeah, but are we participating? Do we need to make a motion to participate?
If you guys want to
If you guys are
participate and be
gonna-
there.
As
So
a
you're
committee,
the-
are we- yeah,
What's going to
As a
represent the
committee.
committee?
Oh, okay.
It's not like you're going as you or I'm going like, we usually do the ones we do with the cultural.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'll make a motion then to participate in. I lost my name.
Pumpkins and
And-
pages.
On the pumpkins and pages, event October 13th.
Storytelling, yeah.
That's a
October
day or a
13th.
event?
Yeah,
Friday
pajamas, by the way.
Evening, yes.
Halloween pajamas.
Yeah, you want to see me in pajamas.
Halloween pajamas. Old Navy. Walmart,
October
Target.
13th
October 13 at 6
at 6
p.m.
p.m. in the
Yes.
town chamber.
in the town chambers.
So you got that?
Friday.
Oh, it's
Oh,
Friday.
it's
Oh, gee.
That's
It'll be a great event. It's a free event. You can register on Eventbrite. Those families that wish to participate, to go and attend, and it's gonna be fun for the kids, a lot of the time
Do you
there,
have enough space? in
yes, absolutely.
there?
A lot of the times there's, there are many events going on in the town. Well, here I know that they're free, but, there's other events that, you know, a lot of the students cannot participate because it's costly,
Yeah.
expensive. So, and also because they want to encourage literacy and maybe September was Literacy Month and, you know, it's a nice theme event, Charlie Brown, Great Pumpkin book that can be read and so many other.
Class with the most, get the pizza party.
Yeah, pizza party.
Pizza party for the class with the most. Get
Okay,
the
so that was, I, you had already sent it to.
No, this is
The town did it, the town did it.
So I have a motion, do you have a second?
Yes, second.
So all in favor to participate in the event? Aye. So there you go. So now, Aisle, could you please inform intergovernmental?
So no, actually, because that is, from my understanding, it's a council member event, so I.
You
that's
cannot
what
do
I-
that. So we're just participating, we cannot tell.
No, it's good that you guys put your name on it so that, you know, you're making the town aware that
Well,
EAB is there supporting, but
So how do we-
We cannot invite the schools.
I mean, you can individually, but me as a liaison of
But as a town, we
EAB, it's
cannot
not,
invite the schools.
it's not an EAB event, it's an event of the town.
Gotcha. All right, so we can individually tell our schools, the town cannot advertise it, so feel free to talk about Graham.
Well, can we contact you until we go to press?
Well, we don't have
Yes,
to contact,
can't
you can
tell you
contact them,
What they're doing.
So
not to do.
just send an email yourself, and just let them provide
Yeah,
the school.
but I don't wanna violate any rules or.
I'll be violating the rules.
Well, I don't wanna, but I'm saying it's a councilman. event.
I, as staff representing EAB, cannot go, because it's not an event.
EAB cannot really,
Represent.
what would I reach out to intergovernmental?
Yeah,
ask?
send an email to Eilert.
Yeah,
It's really very simple.
so just tell her, hey, that the town will be hosting this event, but you know. We'll be participating, but we cannot represent EAB as the one inviting, right?
So
Now, if
your
you know a
motion,
principal,
then
you
your motion doesn't work.
no, our motions are we participate.
But we can't participate after motion.
Oh,
Because you can't set a motion though, because then it's like.
We're participating, but it's
You
not
guys-
our
Well, in
event.
case and putting on an EAB logo, that's really what you're agreeing to, that you
That's it.
wasn't, you're representing
What we
EAB.
cannot do is, it's not a town event.
I'll, as staff, cannot help in terms of when it's a council member's event. It's like, I have nothing to do with council. I'm here to serve the volunteers.
So.
That's all, that's really all the.
But you put it with a shirt that's resized too big for you to buy it. Sorry, guys, anything else? And nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:52.